I like the bike. Still got some work to do. On my previous video I mentioned that I still gotta get my seat, because with a single or solo seat I still want to go ahead and get the one up seat or two passenger seat, or one passenger seat, I'm sorry. I did install these brackets so I can attach the backrest or tour pack, which I plan on getting. I probably won't go with the Harley Davidson just because of cost, but there are some aftermarket ones that's pretty reasonable, got great reviews. I will do that. Also, all the light bulbs are not LEDs. None of the light bulbs on here are LED, which I think is a crime, especially in today's with the motorcycle manufacturers coming out with that. So I plan on replacing all of these with LED. And once again, there's I'll probably go with Custom Dynamics. They're very popular. Zero 3D is another company, but I think I'll probably go with Custom Dynamics. They have a wide range and good selection. A lot of stuff's been tested and used by a lot of different YouTube influencers out there. So that's some of my plans for that. But it's a work in progress. So, but for the best clean slate to start with for a Harley is Electra Glide Standard, in my opinion. If not mistaken, the Street Glide and Road Glide, the specials come with a 114. But this is plenty of power for me. A lot of torque. All right, I used to have a Yamaha that had probably about the same horsepower, but this one definitely it gets up and goes. I did have the first maintenance done. Didn't take them that long. It took them about 3 hours because I had to go over everything. It's a new bike, so 2019. I did put these passenger floorboards on here myself. Got those off of Amazon. Cost me less than $100. I probably will get the Harley ones, but those are roughly about, you can pay about $200 for those. But for now, I'm gonna go stick with those. I'm not sure on the seat yet. I'm gonna get a tall boy seat. Definitely a comfortable seat for my wife when I take her out on the bike. Another thing I'm going to change on it is right here. This linkage, I'm hearing a lot about the shifting linkage is known to go out on these. And they're pretty cheap. I mean, just looking at it, I'm like, I don't even know why Harley even bothered with something like this when you can go there for like $100, less than $100 actually, get a pretty nice solid one. I think that should be standard on these. I'm pretty sure the higher end bikes probably do have those standard, but this one, nah, you know, not so much. But it is what it is. But anyway, it only comes in Vivid Black, which I think is a really good color on this bike. It doesn't come with chrome or blacked out version, so the motor is black, but none of this is chrome. This is actually a polished aluminum. But I could probably change those out if I want to go either way. If I want to go black, or I've seen some guys change that out with the black ones, the black chrome. I've seen some guys switch it out with the chrome. I haven't decided which way I'm gonna go with mine. I think I might just stick with this for now, but I may just go with the chrome to replace those. Also, I want to get the lower fairing kits for this. Once again, I'm gonna get those on Amazon because of cost. A lot of great reviews. You know, if you're gonna go with those guys, always do your research and look at the reviews before you actually just buy it. So a lot of times the cheaper ones aren't the best ones to get. So I don't want to buy something cheap and then have to replace it in a year or two. I'd rather get a decent one now, and that way it's good for a few years. Another thing, back here on the Street Glide a Street Glide Classic, this is open, so it's like nothing there. So they do make LED kits to fit in there. I'll probably go with that, because down the road I'll probably go ahead and get the actual CVO style fender extensions and filler for that. But I like the way that looks, so I may just go ahead and just get the LED lights to fill that up. That bolts right in there. I do plan on getting the new saddlebags on this. These are the standard ones. I'm probably gonna go ahead and get the stretch ones. So I think those look a lot better on that. Even though this looks pretty good, but with me, I'm 6'1". When I'm riding this thing, I actually videotape myself riding this thing. Me being a little bit taller, it makes the bike look, it's just hard to describe. So I'm probably gonna go with the shorter or the stretch saddlebags on this. I may even just get the extended. You can actually get the they actually bolt to the bottom to give the appearance of the stretch bags. I may go with that. But the only thing I don't like about that is I have to actually drill holes in the bottom of the saddlebags. So I may just go ahead and just buy some aftermarket ones for that cause and test them out and see if I like them. I'm debating, I'm probably 50-50 on getting the saddlebag guards. These don't come with it. The Road King does. I think those are standard on those, but there's a bolt on I'm gonna get also. So just a little insurance, knowing if I ever do lay the bike down or it falls over, it won't damage the bags. Not that I plan on dropping it, but I just think that's a good idea to have, especially with how much you pay for the bike. I paid just under $17,000 for this bike last November. This is April of 2020. This is a 2019 model, and that's why I got a good deal for this bike, because they had the 2020s on the floor. So of course all their 2019s they marked off like a couple grand. So that's when I went ahead and jumped on this one, or I said my wife went ahead and got it for me. I do like the exhaust on it. It sounds pretty good. So right out the gate, man. I think this sounds awesome. Something about that Harley, what I really love, a lot of guys talk about why I love it, is the feeling when you're actually on it. It's just something about the rumble and the vibrations. Not too much. I thought it was gonna be a lot more when I first bought this bike, but now riding it, I mean, it's like it's not that bad. The motor does vibrate up, but it has good mounts. So there's not an issue with that. The handlebars do shake when I'm not holding like that. You can tell right now. It does rattle a little bit, but that's just because of the flexibility and because it's just a tube. You know, the handlebars aren't that they're moved, but when I grab it, you can tell not that much vibration. So I'm not getting that like I thought I was gonna get before I ever got this bike. Once again, this is my first Harley. Don't plan on getting anything else. I'm probably going to change the handlebars. Probably get some tall boy handlebars. I'll probably get is bring my hands up a little bit more, which I'm 6'1". I'll get a tall boy seat, which will put me back about an inch and a half further back. I'm gonna get some highway pegs. Obviously, I need some highway pegs because I went on a couple of rides for a couple hours with some buddies of mine, and it was pretty cool. But it would be nice to be able to put my feet out, especially in the summertime. Once I get those fairings, the lower fairings, I want to be able to put my foot on the highway, especially here in Texas where you can get up 100+ degrees during the summertime. And the bike it's not that hot. You know, a lot of times, you know, people complain about the heat. My Yamaha Venture, which is the early 80s model, was very notorious for kicking a lot of heat. I felt my legs felt like rotisseries by the time I got done riding for a few hours. This was not so much, but we'll see when I get those lower fairings put on to see how that works out. But overall, I love the bike. Like I said, I did install the stereo, the speakers. I had to install those some Kenwoods in there. But I love the bike. All right, it's a nice day to go out for a ride. April 14th, coronavirus, still quarantine. But it's a nice day. Had to go out for a ride. A little windy, a little bit cooler. It actually feels pretty good out here. Bikes at that time, but I always wanted to own a Harley. So when I retired from the military, that was one of the things I wanted to do, was actually own a Harley, my first Harley. And that was about 15 years ago when I retired. Of course, things happen, bills, things like that. But last year, me and my wife pretty much in a good situation. We got both our cars paid off. I have a pretty good career right now. So financially, it made sense. So that's when we went ahead and my wife said, go ahead and start looking at Harleys that you always wanted. So that's what I did. We started looking at Harley Davidson here around Rock, Texas. Central Texas Harley. Outstanding dealership. If you guys thinking about getting a Harley, if you're in the Central Texas area, definitely hit them up. But anyway, so I started looking at the Road King, which I really liked. And there was a Barracuda Silver one they had, and it was pretty cool. So I was looking at that, and eventually my plan was to add a fixed fairing or a fairing on it. That was removable, obviously. Add a stereo, you know, aftermarket stuff. So about my second or third trip to the dealership, when I was looking around, checking out the bikes, and the sales guy was like, hey, look, I want to show you something. So he showed me this bike. Once I explained what my plan was, and he said, well, hey, well, you know, these basically the same bike, same engine, frame. It just has the fairing already, and it has everything on it. You can add the stereo later through either Harley, which is about $1,800 for the infotainment center. And I was considering that. So, you know what, I could probably do that down the road. So I went home, started looking on websites, you know, on the internet, interweb, just checking out what other people said about the bike. And I liked everything I saw, what I read. Very maneuverable. And some people may, some of my buddies were like, well, hey, why you get a Harley? That thing's kind of big for your first Harley. But I've been riding a long time, and really, be honest, I don't really think it's that much of once you get used to the weight, if you're just beginning out and want to get something like this to start off with, you should be okay. Just take it easy. A lot of torque. I mean, you're not going to break any speed records from 0 to 60 on this thing, but she got some balls. That's kind of weird saying, but you know what I mean. I really love the bike. I like the way it looked. I got a lot of compliments on it so far, and I haven't really done that much to it. But one thing, the badging on this is actually painted. So this is vivid black. The Electra Glide Standard only comes in that color. But I like that. I like the black. I thought it was pretty cool. And if down the road, if I ever really want to make a big change, I can either get it wrapped, which is a big thing right now. A lot of guys are doing that. It's cheaper. Or I can just go ahead and have it painted another color, you know, years from now. But I plan on keeping this bike. Still got some stuff I want to do to it, but I can spread it over time. I do ride with a group of buddies. We got on a little motorcycle, enjoyable. But the main reason, honestly, for this video is, like I said, I just want to talk about how I end up getting this bike and why. And as I do custom work to it and add stuff to it, I plan on, you know, just doing some videos on that and just sharing that. So if you're guys out there thinking about buying a motorcycle or your Harley, whether it's your first Harley or any bike in that matter, you know, get out there and do it. Like the old saying goes, you only live once.